Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone, wherever you're coming from. Thank you for coming here to the fifth episode of the Topcoder Nation show. As I always say, this is a show created by the community members for the community members to learn about members' journeys, how they came here, any tips for performance, and maybe we can learn something good out of these amazing journeys of our members that we have in the community. And you have me, your humble server here. I'm Luis, maestro from the community. But let's forget about me. I'm just like nonsense compared to this young lady that we have here. I honestly, if I check, if I usually start with some sort of statistics to present the guest, but for her is I don't know how many fingers do I have. 10, right? I think I don't have enough ones to count the hats that she wears at Topcoder. She started as a designer. She's also now a co-pilot. She has been multiple times at TCO finals. She's a regional champion of Europe or Asia. Well, I have to
Both
check that. But oh, both. There you have
Japan
it.
and Europe.
Yeah. What else? MVP. And by the way, something that I really like also to encourage people to know that she's a top coordinator co-founder as well. She was with me and Ravi in this travel that started this whole thing together. And but beyond that, if you ask me, one of the things that I appreciate the most is the kind of person that she is. As a sensitive human being, very warm and caring person that I have enjoyed and have the honor to share travels, experiences, and many things that I hope we can put together somehow 20 minutes in here before the AMA starts. And this is why we're here. This is a AMA format where you guys ask questions in forums. I collected those and I put together in a to present this question to her of the things that you want to know. But if you didn't have time to fill that form out, you can also ask the questions in here. In the if you can see below, there is a Q&A button with two bubbles. You can ask your questions in there, and I will also go through those at the end of the interview. So yeah, we have her here. Uh, she's Viki, by the way. It's known as PereViki in the community. Welcome, Viki. How are you doing today?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing great, thank you. Nervous about the interview, always, always,
Yeah.
but very happy to be here, and it's an honor. Thank you for
No,
having me.
yeah. The honor is mine. The honor is ours, and it's always fun to hang out with people. I mean, you have a nice connection with, which reminds me of the time, and I'm going to travel back in time to 2018 when we met. TCO 18. I think we were at a breakfast table, the lobby. But I mean, we virtually met at the forums, competitions. We even had some conversations in emails about one time she was traveling in a train and she had to deliver a final fixes for a project. She was very nervous about it. But then when you meet Vicky in person, she has this enthusiastic way of approaching people, and as she's doing now, like she says she's nervous, but I see that as enthusiastic. And yeah, I remember seeing her, and I only knew she was from Hungary, right? And uh and I was curious to know, if I can ask, your first question here is, what is the favorite thing you do in your country, in Hungary? What would that be?
Uh, since I'm a resident here, it's always very hard to pick something that is really Hungarian and you like to do. And since I live here, I don't really. Uh, People tend to not really appreciate the things
Mm,
around them, right?
yeah.
But if I have to think about it, yeah, we have a beautiful city where there's a lot of, not now, but there's a lot to do. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I like to go concerts and things like that. Uh, and on the countryside, we have a lot of things to visit. Um, Yeah, only if you go to the downtown. It's not like an American downtown, but it's very historical and the buildings are beautiful. That's what I'm trying to teach Yo-Yo now, that when you walk around, there on the streets, you should lift your head up to check the buildings and everything, because this is really nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
not a lot
Yeah.
to do now, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but we are slowly opening up. So yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, this is Budapest, what that she's talking about. And yeah, I have it in my bucket list to visit. I hope we can do it sometime soon,
Yeah.
to be there, and I have some fun in there and get to know the city, because I know from Chentika, the videographer, official videographer of the community, he said that he went there, and it was astonishing to see all the things in that city. So yeah, I'm very very curious to know. So yeah, you come from there, from Budapest, from Hungary, and what would be your background, education, if any? I mean, how do are you a designer, a dedicated designer? What is your background? If you can share some of this with us.
Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have a design background at all, which I
Wow.
still try to. Yeah, I have a business degree,
uh,
but this came as a passion, I guess, and then I learned on my own. This is something that I still, I don't know, wish to change, but I don't think that it will happen in this life of mine anymore.
what do you mean,
But
like pursuing a design career? What do you mean?
yeah,
Oh,
I'm not the
okay.
career, not the career,
No,
not that
yeah,
one.
the
To be
education.
formally educated.
Ah, okay.
However, it's probably just I had a chat with someone who teaches at a design university kind of thing, or college, not UI design, but they are who, I don't know the right words for it, that they are creating artifact, they are creating things like physical things.
Okay.
And I told him this thing, that I still wish that I had some education. And he asked this question, if I miss anything when I work, do I feel that I missed something that I should have learned? And actually, it's no. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It was just back up my self confidence, probably,
Mm. Yeah.
that I really learned something. But nowadays, it's just not the same thing. So it's not like law or something like that that you really have to learn and um, you know be updated. However, design is the same. You have, this is a lifelong learning uh, kind of path, so you can stop learning at all because trends
Yeah.
are changing, tools are changing, everything is changing.
Yeah. Wow, but that's quite impressive. Um, I mean, this process of not having any background at all educationally in design, and then not just learning it, because if I say learn, it would be fair to say that I can learn how to, I don't know, walk. It's like easy. But it's not just learning design, it's crushing it. Because the way you enter Topcoder was, you didn't knock the door, you just crush it right down to the floor. But how did that happen? That, I mean, without having any formal education, how did you become a designer? If you can share that journey with us, how did it start, and how did it happen?
Mhm. um, it didn't, I have to tell you, or probably you know that, but the others, that I haven't started designing with Topcoder. So I had some kind of, like, how many years, maybe a lot of years of experience, basically, on another platform and with some clients. So it wasn't like I, woke up one day and registered a Topcoder and I won my first challenge. So it's not like
Yeah,
that at all.
yeah,
um, I think it started with some friends who had design problems, whatever kinds of design problems, and I tried to help them. And probably, yeah, there is a passion about this in me. Uh, if I think about this, when I was in high school, we had an arts teacher, and she was a painter, so she was very, artistic and everything. And once I heard her saying behind my back that I was talented. I don't know why I cannot
wow,
draw, so I'm not
what a
good in
surprise.
arts. But still, there's something, probably there is something. And also, for this kind of job, for UI and UX, it's not really the artistic. part that is important, but probably the curiosity and the empathy you can have uh, for your users or for people. What can take you somewhere. So yeah, I think I started in 2012 when it was, yeah, when I already made money of design, and slowly I learned everything through different projects. Those were also kind of challenges, like here in Topcoder, and I started to win a lot.
Yeah.
And since I'm a curious person, I also wanted to be better in it, so I just kept on learning, not giving up, and things like that. And that's
Yeah.
how it happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can thank your teacher for for talking behind your back and saying things that you heard that maybe motivated you a little bit. But yeah, I guess it's a combination of passion and curiosity that drives you, yeah, to pursue these things that motivate you. And yeah, luckily it was designed, so we had a chance to meet you in the community. But yeah, I like to make emphasis in the way that you entered Top Coder, which wasn't like, hey, I'm here. It was like, it was not just letting people know you were here. You had arrived. You won challenges, and even I think in a less of a 6 month period, you already of being registered. I think you qualify for a Top Coder Open, and that's not quite normal at all. So coming from someone who took, I don't know, years to qualify myself. Yeah, yeah, so that's quite impressive. Yeah, but before we move forward with more of the Top Coder stuff, let's take a look more of the way you live, a typical day in your life. Let's say if you can control, let's say, assuming that we can control anything that happens in one
No.
day, how would that day look to you, typically in your life?
Well, I'm very happy that Yo-Yo is home right now, because something that I don't like is waking up early. And since I'm in I'm in Central Europe, and I have clients or colleagues from Asia as well, but we have colleagues from the US as well, so it's a little bit skewed towards the US. So I don't wake up at 6 or 5 like you do. So it's nothing,
Yeah.
no, never. Um, I tend to be a workaholic, so
Oops.
when I'm more health conscious, and also trying to put more emphasis on my private life as well. But then sometimes I just cannot do it because there is a lot to do. And the problem is that I really love my job. So um, I don't perceive it as a wrong thing. However, it's
Yeah.
wrong, but I don't perceive it as a negative thing. I really like to do what I do here.
Yeah, loving your job sounds like a nice problem to have, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah. Well, I can see that angle of. Well, I mean, this is a personal insight, and I know you're not asking for it, but um, I just see this as a passionate person who just doesn't like to have problems hanging out in there. Like you have a problem, you just want to solve it. And from that point of view, I can, yeah. Well, at least I can understand that part. You wake up, you want to solve things. It has also happened to me many times. And yeah, but lucky you, yeah, you don't have to wake up 4 a.m., 5 a.m. It's nice. Sounds like a nice day in your life.
No, I would probably go to bed at 4, but it doesn't happen. So nowadays I don't stay up that late. I think I'm getting old or something like that. So I cannot do it anymore. So I don't hang out, like, work until 4 a.m. I try to go to bed earlier. And I also have a child, so I have to look after her as well. And now I have to take her to trainings, and it's really strange that I have to get out from here after the close down and everything, and also this kind of work that I'm here and I do something all the time. Then there is something that I have to do, and I have to get out from here. There is no internet there, and then what am I going to do? But I enjoy that as well. It's nice to have some that she has new friends, and I can make friends as well with the parents there. So it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. That little daughter of yours, she's growing smart as her
Little.
mother. And I'm making a connection here now that you mentioned something about not having internet when you go into the practices with her with the training. Reminds me of a story. Well, for you guys who don't know, there was this trip that Viki, Ravi, and I did together when we could afford traveling uh, towards Asia, and we were in the Himalayas. And this young lady here was we were traveling and working at the same time, and one of these wireless like Wi-Fi less spot where we were at. Vicky was kind of struggling a little bit. Can you tell the story, because I'm really bad at this?
I was struggling a little bit. Oh, when we when we signed up for the trip, it was like 10 days, right?
Yeah,
And we tried to make sure, like, we really talk to the guy, to the owner where we booked the trip, that we need internet on this and this and this day. It's just
yeah,
not going to work if we don't have it. Okay, yeah, you will solve it somehow. By that time, I also had my own SIM card as well, so I
yeah.
was
You
hoping
did.
that it will work. Of course, it didn't work, so
Useless SIM card.
it didn't work. But we had a very useful friend there with a
Yeah,
useful SIM card. Ravi had a better, I don't know, another supply of an operator, a
yeah,
SIM card from another operator, and for some time we used his internet. But at one point we were at Sangla, and I had to work during the night, and uh, I don't really remember that Ravi had this internet, the hotspot on for just a limited time or something like that, and he had to reopen it, or there was
yeah.
something like this. And it was in the middle of the night, so I didn't want to wake him up. We were in a different room. I didn't want to wake him up, but it was the end of Jesse's design montage, and I
Yeah.
really that was one thing. And I also had a private task that I had to
Hmm.
deliver. Just I had to. So at like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that, I woke up and I left
I
the
think earlier,
hotel.
right? It was
First,
like 4 a.m.
I don't know. It was already, the sun came up already. Maybe
Okay.
it was 5. I don't know. I didn't sleep, I think, at all.
Hmm.
Maybe I slept something, and then I woke up. Yeah, that was the thing. I slept, then I woke up at 2, and I worked
Yeah.
until 4, something like this. And then I tried to look for people in the hotel, but everyone was sleeping and no one was there. And I didn't know what to do. So I left the hotel at the end, and I was a struggle. I was really afraid that what am I doing there, a woman alone, white skin. I'm sorry to say, but still, Uh,
Yeah.
and I didn't speak the local language, and
Hmm.
there not many people spoke English, if I remember well.
Yeah. No. No.
No, not really. And then I had my laptop with me, so I had all the scenarios in my head. So how I will end up dead, or I don't know. And yeah, then at the end, I walked up to the, what was that? A market, kind of a market, and they just started to open the businesses, and there was one breakfast place where I could find a lady who ran this place, and she borrowed me her mobile phone for a hotspot, and it was
Yeah.
amazing. Like, it doesn't happen
Yeah.
here. I wouldn't be able to solve it in this way here.
Yeah.
And she didn't even, I didn't have, I think I had 20 rupees with me. She fed me, she gave me tea, like chai, some toast. She shared her hotspot, and I wanted to give her the 20 rupees, and she didn't want to take it. It was so
Yeah.
nice. It's a beautiful story. I love it.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. Yeah. Just picture this is a scenario where you like this is for the audience here who is listening or watching. you have a responsibility, something to deliver a certain time. But then you are at this beautiful place, nice mountain, Sangla in India in the Himalayas, but you have no internet, and then you start getting scared and afraid that you're missing the deadline. Then you take your backpack very early in the morning. Everything is dark. You're alone. You start because your roommates and travel partners are so kind that they left you alone. Then you start walking into these dark alleys and with all uncertainty in your mind and you don't know what's going to happen. You have to deliver something because you don't have internet. And then out of the sudden, this kind person opens the doors. She was from Tibet. If I think you told me she was from Tibet, something like that.
Yeah, she was a Buddhist. Yeah.
Yeah, but she opens the doors of her house, lets you in, gives you, the internet that you need. You provide you some food, shelter, and tea, and then she says she doesn't want any money. She just wants to help, and that was, wow, unbelievable. When Viki told me this, I couldn't believe it. I was miserably, selfishly sleeping in my comfortable bed while she was going through this struggle. And when she told us the story, I was just shocked. Like, wow, this is just beautiful. Um, this story that she had experience with, and I think she wrote about it. There should be a blog post somewhere that I'll try to find and link it in
Yeah.
the article, in the wrap up article for this. Yeah, beautiful story. And yeah, I think we can, these things, lifestyle. I know that we promote a lot of perks of remote work, but you have to know that it's not all lights and brightful. There are some hiccups that can happen even if you have this freedom. This is the sort of things that could happen. You can travel and work from anywhere, but there are some things that also could happen. Um, and this kind of lifestyle, yeah, challenging things. And this leads me to this question that I wanted to ask you, Viki. Is um, what do you think are the most challenging things that you have faced working remotely for you?
I think that usually I answer these kind of questions that for me it is really hard to find the balance, the work and life,
Mm,
private life balance. That's really hard for me. I don't know why. I know because I like what I do, but I should, yeah. That's really hard for me. Otherwise, especially now since this COVID situation is with us, many people had to learn how to work from home. And I
yeah,
think that we are kind of lucky because we are used to it, so we didn't have that much of a pressure of a change. Other than that, we couldn't travel, okay,
yeah,
but I think that's the biggest challenge right now. And always, yeah, I have to keep myself back from working a lot because it's not healthy for me.
yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, you have to compete with people, and yeah, right now we might not get that many challenges to run, design challenges as co-pilot, so that's not so good for me. So I should go back competing, but of course it's uncertain, so I won't win everything, obviously. However, NASA is back, so i might I might want to give it a try. Yeah, that is also something that is always within that it's uncertain, so you don't have a fixed amount of money that you can earn in a month. And I have a daughter and I'm a single mother, so it can be a little challenging, so I save money. I always do that, so if anything happens that
Yeah,
I have something. But yeah, that is something also that is always in my head, that I have to go on. I cannot, just sit there and do nothing. I really have to work. However, at the same time, because of remote work and because of this kind of work, what Topcoder offers, if I don't want to work for, I don't know, for a week or for a month even, then I don't have to. But it's a
yeah,
positive. It's not a challenge. It's good.
yeah.
It's good. Otherwise, you know. feel like, yeah, challenges. Maybe remote work. Yeah, if you, it's not about Topcoder. It's about the thing that you have to work with people from different cultures, and that can be challenging if you like. So because you are so different,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't understand each other. Like the story which we have just told with this lady. I don't think that it would happen here because people are not so nice or
Yeah.
helpful. Uh, yeah, so this cultural thing, differences can be challenging, but it's not a big deal. It's good that you learn other cultures. I really love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think.
I can't
Yeah.
think of anything else.
Mhm.
We couldn't go to TCO. That's challenging. I don't like it.
Yeah. That's frustrating. I would say that's frustrating. Capital F. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you mentioned the challenging of balancing work and life. I think that happens to most of people who work remotely, especially if we are approaching this for first times. As you mentioned, we kind of, since we have experience, we kind of have a little bit of advantage on the feeling of what it feels like to be home most of the time and kind of managing this kind of lifestyle. But also, yeah, this kind of safety part of providing for your daughter, as you mentioned, and for that, I mean, given that Topcoder has many different opportunities for people to earn money, such as co-piloting, being part of some sort of internal team, gig work, and the bread and the butter of Topcoder, which is competition. So yeah, this makes me think of, okay, if you have to provide, you have to kind of have some safety. You really have to go. I think you really have to be a really good competitor to, to in order to be here steadily and for a long term. Which right makes me think of the question: what would you require as a designer? We're talking about design as a designer. Um, what would it be required to succeed at Topcoder in a constant basis? Not just when one time, because one time may not be sufficient enough for, you know, uh, providing to the family. So what do you think it would take for a designer to become really good, to succeed and win in a regular basis?
I would say I think I have to steal someone else's words. I don't know who said that. I think everyone says this, that you shouldn't give up.
Mm,
So if I have to think about beginners, they kind of obvious that they won't start to win right away, and it can be very frustrating if you just work on something and it's an effort, it's a long time, and you don't win anything. That can be really frustrating, but you shouldn't give up because you will get better at some point. There is this opportunity that if you are submitting for a challenge, you can check out others' designs as well.
okay.
So even if I have never done that, I don't know why I never do that, but
Eh,
others say that it's helpful to just see and check how they thought about the same problem, what was the differences, and where you failed maybe. Um, and I think that these basic skills that we were talking about, these soft skills, the curiosity has to be there. Otherwise, you would give up if you don't want to go and you know continue this thing. Then you would give up. Curiosity and empathy. That's really 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 important. Otherwise, yeah, learn as much as you can. And I heard another thing which I haven't done either, but I like the idea, is that I don't know whose idea it was that, but I like that you can go online, look up some good designs on Dribble or Behance or things like that, and that you try to copy them, not copy as in for a challenge. So don't do that, never. It's
yeah.
not nice, and it's against the rules and everything. But um, copying some designs would help you learn the tools as well, and some kind of styles as well. Maybe you can find yours based on this kind of research. I think so. I like the idea. I've never done that because I never had the time to do that. But at the same time, I was thinking about these triple and Behance things, that sometimes those designs are really nice, but you have to be careful because they might not be of the best user experience. I had a conversation with, I have seen a post about this in a UX group, and they were freaked out about this, that these designs are beautiful and they are so nicely and attractive as they present it, but sometimes it's just not really good. Otherwise, it's a good thing to, to at least learn the tool what you are using in a way that you don't have to think about it anymore, so you don't have to be bothered about looking up functions and things like that. uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like people who learn, like people who can, I've seen these people who can design on XD, Adobe XD, without using the mouse, just shortcut keyboard, and that's it. They can get to do things and kind of automatic way. It saves up heaps of time when you want to design, especially if you want to design fast.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also
these levels.
creating symbols and I don't know how they call it in the Adobe software. So symbols and
Yeah.
components and things like that. I love them.
Yeah, I know you do love that. Yeah, well, I think that summarizes a good piece of advice. Um, Never giving up. I think, yeah, as you mentioned, it might sound kind of cliche or like it's been borrowed, but it goes in line with, I think, and I'm going to mispronounce his name because I always do. Nietzsche, I think, I don't know, Nietzsche, I don't know. He said, he used to say, he has a famous quote that he says, if you have a why, you can bear anyhow in life. I mean, if you had a strong reason to do something, you can go through any situation, whatever it means. So yeah, I think it was pretty much in line with that. If you really want it, you will really push and be consistent and staying there. As long as you're learning, as you mentioned, learning the tools, learning the trades, learning the tricks, and maybe going to some sort of level of expertise that can automate your fingers. You don't even
Mhm.
have to think about it. Yeah, that, I agree. I pretty much agree with that. And yeah, well, we have to go to the awesome section of the questions. But before going there, I just want to steal a little bit more of your time and ask you a question, something that I read about you in something that you wrote. So I'm going to quote you. It was an article that you wrote after your first year experience at Topcoder. And you said, the Topcoder family is not just a nice marketing phrase. Members are caring for each other and we're happy for other success. Can you describe what you mean by that?
Yeah, I still remember uh, the feeling when I just met with Topcoder online, and I have seen many people are saying that this is like a family, and I didn't understand that because I used to work with another crowdsourcing platform, but there was no connection between the members, so I didn't understand what's going on here. And then after some time, since we have Slack and we have a chance to talk to each other, and people are really helpful. Oh my goodness, like like on that, what was that, the train ride when I tried to submit for your challenge like 14 times. Oh God.
Yeah.
And you were so helpful, and I remember it was such a nice feeling that it's not so black and white, in a sense that there are people behind these challenges and everything. um, so yeah, even before we met, I mean, before I met with any members, we already, I would say that we already made some kind of friendship. And then uh, if you check the interviews, the TCO interviews, most of us would say that we are not going there to win, but to meet the others. So I don't really care about, I'm sorry to say, the competition. I wouldn't win anyway, and it freaks me out. I go there because of you guys, to meet you, and it's such a such a nice feeling to have these kind of friendships. And it's amazing that we are competing against each other, and it's not that there is no you know, there are no hard feelings, or there is no negative feelings uh, beside that, but we're still happy if someone else wins a challenge. And it's really nice. I don't know how Topcoder does that.
Yeah, it's a fairly good question. And man, I wish I would have brought my tissues because you almost took a tear out of my eyes. Yeah, yeah, man. When well, yeah, thank you for actually thank you for answering that, because that was a very curious question that I had. And yeah, it's pretty much in line uh, with how the way most of people feel. I when I say most of people, because you know that there are different type of people, and as you mentioned in Topcoder Open, as you said, that you don't care about winning, you care about meeting members, the people that you spend time with along the year. And yeah, there could be people that have this sort of ambition to win, which also is part of human nature. That's okay. But yeah, but I mean, when you said that, how does it happen? It makes me think of something that we recently discussed in Top Coordination. Question that I posed that said, like, what are the lessons that you learn at Top Coder that are going to serve you for life? And Jesse said, I think it has to be with your question right now. Competition brings people together. Not always. It's not always about winning or losing, but being like win with like-minded people. So this is it. Like this competition brings people together who think alike, have similar passions, and then these connections are easier to happen. These snap connections, all the friendships that we have built over the time, they become significant over these things that we share, these passions and enthusiasm for solving problems in the way that we do. So yeah, I think I'm on the same page with that. And before I keep dropping my tears, I'm going to jump over to the next section, which would be the questions that I collected throughout the weeks. I'm going to share my screen. Bearing with me a second. I should be here. So Viki, you let me know if you can see it. Should say something
I
AMA
can.
with PereViki. Yeah, so here we go. And remember, if you didn't have time, opportunity to add a question to the form, you can ask here in the Q&A section button below. So first question. Oh, I think we already replied this. Oh, when did you start designing?
2012
12,
ish.
you said, yeah. Yeah.
Like professionally, whenever I started to make money out of it.
Okay. Yeah, there you have it. It was anonymous. The next one comes from Anna Rees Mail. Uh, recommend recommend some books, for UI UX design that you have read. Do you have any?
Actually, I wrote an article about this for
Oh,
Try.
cool.
Uh, and I actually dropped this. So maybe you can share it on the chat, because
Yep.
I put it in the sheet.
Yeah.
There are some books for how to say, from different point of views, if you like, uh, because you might get some. UX is a very, oh, how to say that, since it covers different disciplines, it can be, how to say that, um, you could approach from the psychology point of view, which I would like to, that's another dream, that once I should learn psychology, but I won't. I just read about it, and then you can, because that helps a lot, right? So it's all about people, how they perceive the world around them, and these products we are designing. So uh, I have some books listed there. Obviously, Don Norman's book, which is
Yeah. The
the
Bible of
basic book for,
UX.
it's, and I have a signed copy. I have to tell.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I cannot. Oh, I wanted to open this. Sorry, I can't open it now. So the design of everyday things, that is definitely a very good book. However, probably not for a beginner, because that is from the psychology point of view. So it's not an easily readable one. But for instance, I'm sure that I have Steve Krug's "Don't Make Me Think" there as
Don't
well,
make me
which
think.
is, Yeah,
It's a great
that
book.
is a really funny book. So it's good. I
Yeah.
think it's very good for beginners as well.
Mhm.
There are obvious examples in there and funny, really funny.
Yeah, probably
And
liked it.
yeah. And then I also have, let me try to open it because I don't know the writer's name. I'm sorry for that. Shame on me. Uh, oh, I won't be able to find it right now.
Yeah.
It's called, there's another book which is easy to read because it has just short sections, and it's, I think the name is like the 100 things a designer should know about people or something like that. But if
Yeah,
you check out it,
Susan Weinchak.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So it's really nice as well, nicely decorated. So it's how to say, the things come through easily, and it has short sections. Um, that is also good. And I remember that in the article I have another book. It's the About Face, I think. That is something that you wouldn't read because it's I sometimes I use it as a handbook, so it's not like something that you sit down and read all the couple of hundreds of pages. It's like a bigger one, but it's like a handbook, which is also, it contains everything. That is nice as well. And there are a lot of books out there that you can check out. That's the problem. It tends to cause a problem to me that there is so much out there on the internet as well to learn, that it gives me a hard time to select what
Yeah.
to read.
Yeah. Yeah. Have abundance. So it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I will
Right.
find the. Well, yeah, I will find the the link and also share it in the blog post summary of this episode. Yeah.
And also, if you are a beginner, there are a lot of free courses out there which wouldn't go into much details, but it's good to start you out with like basic principles. And they are also free, which is, I guess, very good for beginners, for young people who doesn't have, the um, they couldn't cover like a design school or
Yeah.
something. That's also a good thing to start out with.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. There's so much material out there. Yeah, I hope I think yeah I think that article you talk about was in Thrive. Yeah, we'll find it. I will find it and we'll share it in the definitely I will share with in the with the readers in the summary article. All right. Our next question could be, uh, what advice can you share for someone who wants to become an excellent copilot? Oh, someone has been studying you. We didn't talk about your copilot career.
It does mean that I am one. um,
Yep.
well, um, if it's just a stupid joke come to my head that you shouldn't steal them. No, no, no. I think that you need high attention to details and some kind of managing skills. So over the time I've been a co-pilot, I built an Excel based little kind of application for myself when I keep all the data about my challenges. I mean, whenever you run it, and about the registered members and things like that, I have all the metrics, and it's really beautiful. I wish I would be like a development co-pilot, so I would have done that even better. Um, I think that those, for me, those projects or challenges are uh, more interesting when I can get in contact with the client. So that is, I like those better because then I feel like I can gather requirements easier. Or since I am a designer and the project manager might not be a designer, so I already have questions that the members will have. So it's probably easier.
Yeah.
It's also important that, of course, it's a prerequisite for being a co-pilot that you already um, competed on Topcoder. So it's good because you would already know what you would ask and what kind of things you have to collect to be able to write a good specification, for instance. So
Yeah.
yeah, attention to details, not sleeping.
attention to details, management skills, yeah, and communication.
So I'm also enthusiastic about those projects as well. So we are waiting for, at least I am waiting for the submissions and what the guys came up with. So it's also some
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, like curiosity. Like in one of the, I don't know where Adam said that someone asked him, I think, that isn't he sad because he is not designing anymore, and that he answered something like that he still feels it's his because he's just one level, a couple of levels over the designers, and it still can be perceived as his designs. So he's just helping uh, those people to solve these problems, and he's still the part of it. Yeah, sometimes I feel that the delegation part a little bit hard as well. So I also want to solve these problems,
Yeah.
but I can't.
Yeah, well, that keeps saying a lot about uh, you not being, I mean, having this passion for not having problems hanging out in there. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. For the person whoever asked this question, the next one would be, how much time does it require to become a great designer? Wow, it's a tough one.
A lifetime. If you stop learning, then you decline. So you cannot stop learning. How much time does it take to become a great designer?
Wow.
That's a very good thing. I guess it depends on the effort you can put into it. There is something else that popped into my mind about beginners, is that I wouldn't recommend starting this kind of remote work if you don't have something else beside it. I mean, some other source of income beside it, because you would probably not start to win immediately. Uh, I think about Surya because of this question. I
Yeah.
think he started to design, to deal with design, and he started to compete at the same time as I started. And within a year, he was he didn't qualify for TCO maybe, but he was really successful. And we have seen as co-pilots, we have seen his designs, um, how he improves from challenge to challenge, and it's amazing. It's really amazing. We should ask his permission and Topcoder's permission to show some before and after, screens. It's crazy, but I know because he's my friend. I mean, I hope I can say that he's one of my good friends at Topcoder, and he put a great effort in it. So I think he didn't stop learning at all. Besides, he was in his university, right? So he had other things to do as well. But yeah, in 1 year, he became one of the top designers, and
Yeah,
he has a design
it's
background.
impressive.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, he did. It's impressive. And to put a little bit of more context here, Surya, his handle is Stark, 1885, something like that. No, 1995. And yeah, he started. He's one of these rare cases. He started, as Viki mentioned, with zero background knowledge of design. I mean, he was studying something computer, uh, a computer science related career, but he was programming, not designing. And he just started taking tools and doing work in. Imagine he was using. And I don't mean to offend anyone in here, but he was using any designer here. He was using Illustrator to create UI design, and they looked quite much like white paper and black lines and big buttons. And he knows this, and I joke with him a lot. It was pretty chaotic. And when he asked for feedback, I told him, I gave him, I remember it was, he asked feedback from me, from Tom, from Daniela. There were many people who helped him out, giving him feedback about the way he was approaching design to change the tools. And long story short, he started pretty bad. And after, I think he measured this. It took him about 4 months to win his first checkpoint prize, and then 6 or 8 months to win her first. first placement. I mean, coming from nothing to now mastering Adobe XD like nobody else and winning challenges. That's remarkable. The amount of effort that he put. And as Adam Trivia 79 he put in there in the comments about the 10,000 hours required to master a skill. Yeah, I have also read about it, and I don't know how much time Surya had put into this, but it would be interesting to measure that. Uh, to see how much it required for him to become a great designer at this platform, which is, this is the context that we're talking about here. That's a good topic. All right. Oh, nice one. I like this one. When it comes about traveling, guys, you ask. I will support these questions. What is your favorite place in Europe?
At this point, any.
Oh my goodness, very
For
pretty good
example,
answer.
I really like Prague, the capital of Czech
Uh,
Republic. It's beautiful. However,
yeah,
our city is really beautiful, but
yeah,
it's not my home. I also
yeah.
like Italy very much because we used to go there when I was a kid. We used to go there for a
Mhm.
holiday, so it has
Ah,
memories. And then with Yo-Yo's father, he likes to travel to weird places, like weird as in many people would like to travel to
okay.
the west. Like now he liked to go to the east. Or
Mm.
for instance, one of our greatest like family holiday was when we went to Albania and
Oh, nice.
what is that, Macedonia. Sorry for the country, I don't know the right name for it right now because it doesn't call that way anymore. But to places that it would not sound as a dream holiday, but they are actually. And I think every country has something beautiful. I've never been to, for instance, to the northern countries, only
Like
once
Denmark, huh?
for days. But I've been to,
Like,
oh, okay, I've been to Denmark. I forgot about it. I had a client who invited us, both me and Yo-Yo. It was really nice for a couple of days.
oh, nice.
It's nice, but I haven't been to, what else is that?
Like
Uh,
Finland.
but yes,
Uh, yeah,
and I haven't been to Russia, for instance, if you consider
oh,
it. But I've been to
yeah, yeah.
Ukraine. I like Kiev as well.
Have you been in there?
Yeah, in
In Kiev?
Kiev,
Yeah.
yes, that's where I met Don Norman.
Ah, well, yeah, that's where you got your signed copy of the book in Kiev.
Yeah, that's why I
Nah.
went there completely alone, and I don't speak
Oh, wow.
Russian.
Oh man, that's amazing. I thought you got it. I don't know, from your city that he went in there or something.
No.
Oh man, you see, that's a good reason to go visit Kiev. You get to know a nice, beautiful city, and also get a signed copy from Don Norman. that's that's
And
nice.
I also like to eat very much, and I like to try local food everywhere I go.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
something that I really love.
I'm a witness of that. Yeah, yeah, everything with spices. Okay, and a side topic, another story here. Viki once cooked. I don't know. She has this talent of when she's trying the food, she tries to, how you call that? To break down what are the components and ingredients of this food. We were one time, I think it was in Bali. Yeah, in Bali, we were eating this nice spicy rice with, it had some coconut and chicken, and she started tasting it. Oh, this is good. This is great. And then we put together all of the ingredients. We went to the supermarket, and by the knowledge that that she got from tasting it, and we got all the ingredients, and then we got together and in the kitchen. I don't remember if I helped too much, but I think maybe I did the dishes, and yeah, but I mean, it was her thing, and she cooked this amazingly tasty Indonesian food. Like it was, I hope again I don't offend anyone from Indonesia, but it was way better than the food that they gave us at the restaurant. I mean, it was amazing, this ability of trying something out, breaking down what it has, and then replicating it in a much better way. And I think this says a lot about your design career as well. Like seeing something, decomposing it, how it works, and then I do my greater or better version out of it. So, yeah. Wow, what
Yeah.
conversations we can have out of food. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Our next, and I think yeah, the last one from the AMA, at least from these ones. Any tips for a newbie stuck at learning? I don't see much progress in my designs. Okay, Surya, come here.
Maybe for this problem, the copying thing would be something that could help, don't you think? Like that
Yeah.
you go online and search for something that you wouldn't do, something that really doesn't resemble to your designs. Um, Maybe something like this. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be
Makes
interesting to
sense.
find out what the problem is. So you say, I mean, this person who left this comment or this question, then why he thinks that there is no progress. So it would be nice to take it apart and
Yeah.
find the problem. So what is the problem there? Why is it not good? That
Yeah.
would be interesting. And
Yeah.
also if he's competing, then he could download the winning submissions and check what are the differences. It's a great question because it could be something that's about the looks, or it could also be a problem with the underlying things like layouts and the UX part of it.
Mm,
So I would try to investigate the problem that I have.
yeah. I think we're. It would be beneficial to have more context
Yeah.
about the problem. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But trying something different. I think by the start of it, you nailed it. But yeah, by trying something different that you wouldn't normally do, because there is a definition of uh, Einstein gave to stupidity, and he said that that is doing the same things over and over. If you want to see different results and you do the same things over and over, yeah, that was pretty much about it. Yeah, but it's something that yeah we need more context to help more. Okay, and I think I'm afraid we arrived to the last question of the AMA. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to check the questions that we have here in the panel. So we have two questions. First one from trivia. We met him in Philippines in our trip to PereViki. How do you manage being beautiful and being an awesome designer? How do you do that?
uh, Not a joke. It's probably there is some kind of genetic thing that I have with my cousins, and probably Yo-Yo will have it as well. That people are usually they wouldn't guess my age correctly because we I don't know, we tend to be less. I don't know. You know, we are not getting old that quickly or something like that. Maybe that's the reason. And thank you very much for the compliment. Oh my god, I consider myself beautiful. Awesome
Yeah.
designer. Oh, you know, I always have this low self-confidence thing, imposter syndrome and things like that.
Imposter syndrome. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I have to follow him back. Those are two pretty accurate observations. Yeah, pretty obvious. Yeah. There you have your answer, trivia. I hope you're happy, and thank you for that question. I liked it. Our next question and final one comes from Vignesh. He says, "This is going to be tricky and fun question. Imagine you are in the final round of TCO. There is going to be one one against one elimination round.
Yeah.
You have advantage of choosing your opponent to compete. Pick one designer from the current design track, uh, and why.
Oh,
The final round of the TCO, you have to pick one opponent.
oh my god. Maybe I would pick Ravi and it would be funny at least. So we can finally throw things at each other. that's,
Yeah,
oh, I don't know. I don't. Those situations, those challenges, they take a lot out of me. Like seriously, it freaks me out that people are looking at my screen and things like that. It's all gone. It's not for me. Um, and I don't consider myself being a good designer for something that you have to make quick. It just doesn't work for me. If you have checked the last bracket tournament from the design month, but it's amazing what people can do in 30 minutes. It's just I'm not able to do that. So I don't know. I would probably pick another opponent because the other person would win. So I would pick someone who I like so he can win over me. Hmm. Very interesting question. And also it reminds me as well of the pairs in this latest brackets that Toxic Pixel had to compete against Abadavera and then Iqbalhood and then Tong. And it was amazing that
Yeah.
that those skills that Dave has is just amazing, and it's very interesting to see that um he's much stronger in the concepts than he is in the UI, so in the aesthetics, and that he can still be the nicer design with his awesome concepts. That's amazing to me. So maybe I would compete with someone who is like that as well. But I wouldn't compete against Toxic Pixel because he would beat me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a, it's a pretty tough question to think about.
Yeah.
And yeah, his performance was quite amazing in this tournament. I think it was the first time that he tried this tournament, and he made it to the finals. He had a rough start, uh, and but then he put it together, and man, he made it to the final, and with a pretty amazing performance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And these things on stage, TCO, this is also game changing, as you mentioned at the beginning of your answer. That this pressure of being watched your screen. You know that there are people watching your screen while you compete live, and you have you know not a very large amount of time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that adds a little bit more of pressure to the equation here to consider. Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought that you
Okay.
would bring up my packing list.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like a pretty good, a pretty good way to wrap it up. It's a funny story about for the audience here, when the competitors are live on stage during a Topcoder Open competition, the finals. There is a arena where we have monitors and we can check what they're actually doing live. It's like a screen sharing process, and you can see anything from the moment they sit in the computers. They have blank screen or the desktop screen or whatever they have. You can see that. If they go to check the emails, you can see that. If they go to check Facebook chat, you can see that. And then was 2019. There was Viki, who just came. She's a pretty much organized person, and she had a checklist as her default screen. While we were all watching her screen on the arena, she had opened this screen of her to do her package. It was your packaging list, right?
Yeah, it's
Your,
practically so.
yeah, the things that she had to pack for the travel, and there were quite interesting stuff in there. Like the things that, like, I don't know, like how you call that, like sanitary towels, or I don't know how to call that. And she was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, what am I doing?"
Yeah, I was so freaked out at that time. It was accidentally. I didn't know where I was, and then I started to find my screen, the right screen, and oh no.
Yeah, yeah. It's like she wasn't expecting people to find out what she was packing for the travels. Yeah, and yeah, it's a funny story to wrap it up. It was a final question, and I have to say I had a super fun time. Uh, it was awesome hanging out with you again, Vicky. Even if it is online, it's what we have. We have to appreciate it. Whatever is the best we can have at the moment. So thank you for coming here. I appreciate the time that you put into this, and all you guys who came here. Appreciate I know that for some of you it's late in the night, for some of you it's very early in the morning or afternoon. Just thank you for hanging in there and learning the journeys of our precious member that we have. So Viki, if you want to say anything before we go, all yours.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, and thank you for all everyone who was here with us, and thanks for the questions as well.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed it, the show.
yeah, they should have. All right, guys, see you by the end of the month again. Have a nice day, lovely evening, lovely morning, and I love you all. See you around.